Yes, as you can see, we have beaten the Pisco Demons. I couldn't show you how much experience they gave you, but it's not a big deal. We have the TNT now. Let's finish up the rest of this dungeon. Heal up here. So, what has happened recently has blown my mind. We've been here, right? Yeah. Oh, no, we haven't. Okay. So, there's nothing in this room. I just want to show you just to be sure. As you can see, going back. Yeah, mind blown. So, I've called this hack Final Fantasy Ultra Championship Edition. And it turns out that all these years I've been naming Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition incorrectly. I always thought it was Championship Edition. I've always called it that way. None of my friends have ever proved me. What do you call that? Said I was saying it wrong. So, but recently, looking up my own game online, I found out that Street Fighter 2, the second edition of the game, has always been called simply Champion Edition, and I never knew. I felt a bit embarrassed, of course, because I'm a big Street Fighter nut. I used to play tournaments in good times. It was back in the day, though. I never liked Street Fighter 4 that much. I like the fighting games where you don't have to spend too much time practicing little movements, like Kara throws. I don't like that kind of stuff. Capcom vs. SNK 2, which I really loved. Unfortunately, well, it had roll cancels, and you needed to master those. Well, I didn't. I just took K Groove, which doesn't let you roll, and well, I still managed to do well. I can't complain about my successes, but what I'm trying to get is that Street Fighter 4 had plinking and is pretty combo heavy for a fighting game, in my opinion. I mean, at least the kind of combos where you need to have precise input. I mean, Guilty Gear X2, which I also played a lot, had much more bizarre combos, but the good ones weren't that hard to pull off. I mostly played Testament, Kai Kiskin, Faust, and okay, the combos I used in tournaments, they were maybe only as 90% as effective as the ones the best players in the world would use, but that was good enough for me. So yeah, Street Fighter 4, too technical for me. I couldn't find any of the fighters which I felt comfortable with, so I never got into that. And same thing with Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Although, to be honest, the only team I could really use in a tournament when it came to Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was what they called Team Scrub, i.e. Sentinel, Cable, and Captain Commando. So I did have to practice the triple or quadruple HVB or the Viper Beam or whatever it's called. Anyhow, enough about fighting games. I've decided to keep the name of this hack Championship Edition because I'm not the only one making the same mistake, it turns out. Guacamelee, an excellent adventure Metroidvania game, which I think is, when you put everything down on paper and divide it all up, it's a better game than Super Metroid. I really do think it's not much better, but it's at least just as good. And let's get some more magic for the monk. That has additional content. I haven't played it yet. Called Championship, or Super Turbo Championship Edition, which is obviously a reference to Street Fighter. And because at one time there was a Street Fighter called Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. And okay, I really need to start thinking what I'm going to be doing now. I don't have any more money. I have enough spells at level 3. Level 4 spells will be coming soon. Have it not really close to leveling up, so we're going to take a peek at Astos' castle. So let's go this way. And no, let's do this. So yeah, and there's also a Pac-Man Championship Edition. And finally, quite a coincidence, I was on ROM hacking today, and one of the threads is about a hack of what the hacker names the Sega Mega Drives or the Sega Genesis Street Fighter II Special Championship Edition. That's what he called it on the forum, but it's Champion Edition. I double checked. So yeah, a lot of people are making the same mistakes apparently, and I think that's funny. And since I'm not the only one, I'm gonna leave it this way. I think it's kind of funny that a lot of people are making the same mistake, calling the game differently than how it should be. To make things even more confusing, in Japan, it was simply called Street Fighter II Dash. And when I think of Dash, I think, oh, it's kind of fast, right? So it gets me confused with Street Fighter II Turbo, which was released a year later. And if I ever find a way of making this game even faster, I would love to call this game Final Fantasy Ultra Championship Edition Turbo Hyper Fighting. Yes, definitely with hyper fighting at the end, because that's what also the arcade cabinets had on it. And I always found that interesting, such a long name. And I'd love to have my own video game with also an absurdly long name. But how to make this game faster? I'm a bit annoyed at how the game takes a couple frames before it shows you the actual output. So maybe there's a way, the output of damage, to make it all appear at once, and then have it hang for a while. But I haven't looked at the code well enough for that. Could be possible. Oh, these guys are not going to die in one round. Oh, well. No, that's going to be another bolt too. This is a lot of hit points. And we're not that strong either, so it's not that weird. Basically, we're grinding this part of the game. We might be able to pick up some treasures to see how well we're doing. But I'm not running away. I'm here to get experience and gold, which we get from ogres. Okay, yeah, we're gonna get the chests. We can do this. We have a rogue. Let me check the hit points. Yeah, we should cast the heal before we fight the undead here. We can run away. So the best way to do this is fight them here. And this is, as you've seen, a pretty hard fight. I beat them last time, but I'm low on Holy 2 spells. So, hey, we have one of these. Can't use this one either. And this last chest is 2,000 gold. Again, we run away. Now to help you out, identify the goals, which took me years of doing. You first have the green ones called zombies. They are not a threat at all. They don't stun. They have hardly any hit points. Then you get the white ones. They do stun, but they don't have that many hit points. And the yellow ones start getting hard. Geez, I don't remember how many hit points they have, but watch out for those. And they hit 3 times, so they have a very good chance of stunning. I'm running away. Unless I have a lot of magic, which I don't. Oh, let's put up a shield and slowly whittle them down. Yeah, so the goals are the second rank. The white ones are the second rank. Watch out for the stuns. And the yellow ones, they have a lot of hit points and stun a bit more. Finally, the last type of zombie enemy are the specters, and they're green, and they have even more hit points, and they hit pretty hard. Yeah, that's also a difference. None of the zombies hit very hard, actually. Until you get to the Spectres, and they do hit hard. They're a nasty crowd. And you see a lot of them at the end of the game. Now the shadows, even I have a hard time identifying them. Still, the ones named Shadow, they're kind of grayish, and they're the easiest. They don't hit hard. They're hard to hit. They don't have that many hit points. 2 Holy 1 spells should be enough to kill them. Then you have, I don't remember the name, could be Image. The bluish ones, well, they're tougher. They're about twice as tough, and that's it. Also hard to hit. Then you have the greenish yellow ones. They're the 3rd rank, and they get fairly hard. I think they have around 600 hit points, maybe 500. So yeah, you have to put in a lot of holy or fire damage into them. They're hard to hit, so you might want to use the bind spell. And the last rank are the ghosts, and they hit very hard. And they have more hit points than the ghosts or Image, the shadows. So really watch out for them. They're dangerous. Pretty good idea to run away if you don't have any holy spells. They usually come in groups, so your fire spell is quite limited. We're going to get iced 2 for our warlock. Okay. How about we just get the last... Oh no, we need 2 more. I want to get Charm. I should actually be preparing for Astos. Did we get level up? Yeah, we have. We are level 8. That is my guideline for trying out Astos. I don't have the shell spell, which makes a big difference. Well, I'm not going to be grinding, so we're just going to try it. We're almost out of time, I see. So we'll just run all the way to him and see what we can do. And I wouldn't be surprised if we can't beat him. This party doesn't have many tools against bosses. And the ones I do have are Shield, which is good. I have Temper, which is fairly good. But I don't have magic resistances. I do have Will. That might help. I don't have Shell. No, this team's okay against bosses. Oh, I'm going to be stunned a lot. The second half of the game will be a bit harder. I will have the shell spell, but I won't have access to the shield 2 spell, and I might have a little bit access to temper 2, but not that often. So I won't be able to do that much damage to the bosses. This is a pretty good all-round team. I do like it on paper. And so far it's been playing pretty well. My rogue is getting better encounters. You don't really notice it, but it's there. And, we have pretty high hit points. I'll just use cures. Yeah, this should be good enough. So yeah, I'm not going to fight Astos now, but I'll briefly describe how this team works. So the rogue's giving better encounters and being a bit of a tank, helping it with damage. So I have some tanking, some damage output. The monk helps with physical damage output. So that's a bit subpar, but good enough. The magical damage output is good, thanks to the warlock. The sage is doing okay as a healer, and he will manage during the end. And the monk is giving the buffs, so I basically have a little bit of everything. The only thing that really sticks out is doing nuke damage to all enemies. But other than that, it's kind of all round, so I can go all ways with this party. And it doesn't cost that much money either. So we'll easily beat the game with them. And next time, we fight Astos, so see you then.